Hello, welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy and the making of Mildred's Roses. This journal I am creating in conjunction with Lindsay Zehner at nevermorecreations17.com. I will link that website and her Facebook group below, and I encourage you to go check it out. In this video, I'm just going to do a quick little show and tell rather than you watching me make all the things, because what we're looking at today is my paper clips and prettiness, as I call it. And once again, I probably don't have everything in here that I'm going to have in here by the end, but I do want to go through and show you some of the things that I work with. I won't go into detail on how I made them because I want to keep this video kind of short, and those would be probably each of those clips and prettiness would be a video unto its own. Our first clothespin is right here showing this little clip, and I will zoom in so that you can see it, but it is a safety pin that I have wrapped washi tape, one of my excess washi tape strips that I keep, except for the one I used was a little longer, to wrap around one side of the safety pin. And then I took the floral wire and I wrapped it through the top of the safety pin, wrapped it around a couple of times, and then started to wrap it around the washi tape, and I added a few seed beads as I went along. And then I just pinned it into the side of this handkerchief to keep this as a pocket so that my journaling card that I made and have tucked in there doesn't fall out. And I thought it turned out very pretty. The next paper clip the next prettiness I want to show you is a simple paper clip. I took and curled the ends with a pair of round nose pliers. Let's see if, yes, right here. Those are called round nose pliers. And all you do is you take the straight end of the paper clip and you just stick this in there. I can't get a good angle. And you curl it. Now, before I curled the ends, I did add a seed bead on. Very simple, but I think it looks very pretty. And now it's holding this flip down closed. The next clip is holding this big paper clip that I altered. You can see the curled ends on there. And I simply wrapped a piece of paper around the long side of the clip and a piece of mulberry paper over that and a piece of lace over that. I have it all glued together so it is stiff, but it makes a nice little flag, and I have something that I am preparing to put into this this flip out. Is this one. And it is for this part of the handkerchief. This was an earring, and I took the back and curled it through the post, curled it through the the head of the safety pin, and then I threaded on some seed beads. And this was a coilless safety pin, so I was able to feed them onto the back side, and the side that goes through the fabric does not have any beads on it, so it doesn't interfere. And here is this journaling card just tucked right in there, held securely because that little piece of pretty is there. Now it's going to be hard to get back in because I'm on camera, so I'm an odd angle. But I think that that looks really pretty. The rose and the pearls and those beads, they pick up over here on these colors too in this collage. That makes me really, really happy. And for this one, if you look at the collaging video and clusters, collaging and clusters, you'll see that we did this one in that video, but I had this piece of fabric down here. I started to put this dangle onto the piece of fabric and it came apart, but I still wanted this dangle on there. So I stitched it back together, hand stitched, and then put a Tim Holtz quote over the top of it. And I've got that nice little dangle that hangs out the bottom. The next paper clip is this one. And for this, that's a clothespin. This is a paper clip. For this paper clip, I forgot to curl the end. So maybe I can show you how to do that real quick. Let me mark my place. See how that line is straight? It's hard to see on this because it's already got all the frou-frou. I take my round nose pliers and I get a grip close to the end, but not right at the end, because then it just kind of flips it off. Let me scoot this over. So you just take this and you curl it until it comes back and meets itself right there. And I'll try to do that on the inside one, but it's really close to all the stuff that's going on. You just take and curl it until it meets back on itself. And sometimes you may have to adjust your pliers depending on your angle. This is a really weird angle right now. And there you go. And I find that that comes in really handy, especially when you have a page that has different decorations and such on it that might tend to catch. Like if this lace was on the page, those ends would tend to catch in the lace, but if you curl the ends, then it doesn't seem to catch so much. And this paper clip is holding this card over. And these are, whoops, I put the wrong part on the front, so the long part needs to go on the back to hold that card. There we go. I put two little scrap pieces of lace together, and then I just took my needle and thread and sewed it in place. And as I was sewing, I was scooping up seed beads out of my boxes and adding them to both sides. And I like the way that looks. The next clothespin is right here. And this one is one of the cards that we made in, let's see, Fixing Mistakes. I believe it was the first video after the intro, and I will have the playlist linked below as well. And I went and added onto the back of it a folded over piece of cardstock so that I could accomplish two things. One, it gives you extra writing space, and two, it will sandwich over the edge of a page which in this case protects the edge of that fragile page because it's been coffee or tea dyed, and that just makes the paper a little weaker, and I'd prefer it didn't tear on me. So there is that one. And with this paper clip, I once again did the curled ends on it, and I took some of my extra washi pieces that I have been collecting, and I folded them over the long side of the paper clip, and I cut a couple of them into banners, and I just made sure that if there was any of the stickiness exposed on the washi tape, I used this EK Success powder tool, and it helps to get the sticky away. You can also just take some cornstarch or baby powder and dust it on there, or you could just stick it over and over again to something until its stickiness was gone. And that slides right over there so that my, what did we call this, an accordion? So that my writing space doesn't flip out and get destroyed. So there's that. This is a simple one. We simply curled the ends. And then I tied some of the edging that I had cut off of another piece of this for a different project. And I simply tied it around the top of the paper clip. And this is a flip down with that little hidden spot there. And then that flips down, and this is in the pocket. And then there's writing space down here. And I want to hold all of that closed. And so that does the job nicely. This might be the last one. Oh, no, it's the last clothespin, but it's not the last thing I'm showing you. I made this clothespin, and you can see that comes right off of that without dragging it with it. It's another, let's see, another of the curled paper clips, and it's not focusing for me. And these are simply some charms that I have wired on using a French hook earring that I had left over, so I didn't waste anything. Oh, goodness gracious. And you really can't tell what I've done there, except for I put the cameo through the jump ring that was already on the earring, and then I took the earring and wrapped it through the bow on the back. There we go. And I just put this right here. It adds a nice little decoration, but it also helps to hold that card that's in that pocket in place. There we go. And then I also made this bookmark here. And it has a cloison chain with a little cross on it that I received. Somebody gave me a rosary, and I don't use rosaries, but it was beautiful, and so I didn't want to waste it. And so I made this tag. It's 2 tags that are put together with vellum music paper, a little bit of lace, and a bulb pin, and some thread holding that all together, and I have tucked that into this back pocket. And that's one of the pretties, and so I included it in this video. Now, I'm not going to add a whole lot more of the paper clips and such to the journal. It's already pretty fat, which is why we're doing this tie on it. And something else this tie helps with is if you are working in one part of the journal, this keeps this part flat so that this part is easier to work in, because this part isn't popping up and trying to cause all kinds of chaos for you. Those are just some simple embellishments in the way of paper clips and prettiness that I have added to this journal. And the next time you see this journal, we will be creating the outside cover. And then it'll be the final flip through. Until then, I hope that you are enjoying your life. I hope things are going well for you. And I would remind you to be kind always. Bye.